Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, today's lesson is about the carbon cycle. So first of all, we will see that what is the importance of the carbon. Carbon is virtually important molecule in the carbon cycle. Protein, nucleic acids, lipids, carbohydrates and other molecules essential to life contain carbon. Carbon is present in the atmosphere as a gas, carbon dioxide, which makes up approximately 0.04% of the atmosphere. It is also present in the oceans and fresh water as dissolved carbon dioxide. Carbons are also present in the rocks such as limestone in the form of CaCO3. So what is the importance of carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas and traps heat in the atmosphere. Without it and other greenhouse gases, Earth would be a frozen world. But humans have burned so much fuel that there are about 30% more than carbon dioxide in the air today than there was 150 years ago. More greenhouse gases such as the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere are causing our planet to become warmer. Now we will define that what is the carbon cycle. The global movement of the carbon between the abiotic environment, including the atmosphere and ocean, and the organism is known as the carbon cycle. Through this diagram, you are watching the various steps of the carbon cycle, which we will discuss one by one. So the first step of the carbon cycle is the photosynthesis, which actually traps or fixes the carbon of the atmosphere in the form of biological molecules. So during photosynthesis, plants, algae and cyanobacteria removes carbon dioxide from air and fix or incorporate it into the complex organic molecules compounds such as the glucose. Photosynthesis incorporates carbon from the abiotic into the biological compounds of the producers. Here you're watching the chemical equation of the photosynthesis. Now we will see the next step in and excluding the first step, which is the photosynthesis. All the rest of the steps of the carbon cycles reveals that how the carbon is supplied back to the atmosphere. So the second step is the decomposition. This involves the animals and plants respiration, cell microorganism respiration. So many of the compounds are used as a fuel for the cellular respiration by the producers that made them, by the consumers that eats producers, or by the decomposers that breaks down the remains of the producers or consumers. The process of cellular respiration returns the carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. A similar carbon cycle occurs in aquatic ecosystem between aquatic organism and dissolved carbon dioxide in water. So here you're watching the chemical equation for the cellular respiration. The process of photosynthesis incorporates the carbon atoms from the carbon dioxide into sugars. Animals eat the plant and use the carbon to build their own tissues. Carnivores eat these animals and then use the carbon for their own needs. These animals return carbon dioxide into the air when they breathe, and when they die, the carbon is returned to the soil during decomposition. The step 3 is the partly decomposed plant remains in the form of the coal. Millions of the years ago, vast coal beds formed from the bodies of the ancient trees that were buried and subjected to the anaerobic conditions before they had fully decayed. Here watching the different forms of the fossil fuels. So the fourth step includes the marine plankton remains. The oils of the unicellular marine organisms probably gave rise to the underground deposits of the oil and the natural gas that accumulated in the geological past. Coal, oil, and the natural gas, called the fossil fuels because they are formed from the remains of the ancient organisms. Fossil fuels are non renewable resources. The earth has a finite or the limited supply of these resources. The step 5 is called the combustion. Combustion include maybe the human or due to the natural activities. The process of burning or the combustion may return the carbon in the oil, coal, natural gas, and wood to the atmosphere. In combustion, organic molecules are rapidly oxidized and converted to carbon dioxide and water with release of light and heat. And the step 6 of the carbon cycle is the burial and the compaction to form the rock or the limestone. An even greater amount of carbon that is stored from millions of years is incorporated into the shells of the marine organisms in the form of calcium carbonate. When these organisms die, their shells sink into the ocean floor and sediments cover them, forming the cemented together to form the limestone. The step 7 is the erosion of the limestone to form the dissolved carbon dioxide. When the process of geological uplift exposed the limestone, the chemical and the physical weathering process slowly erode it away. This returns carbon to the water and atmosphere where it is available to participate in the carbon cycle once again. Through the decomposition, it serves as the Earth's waste disposable system. In addition, the carbon cycle is important because the carbon containing gases in the atmosphere affect the Earth's climate. Increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has been responsible for more than half of the climate warming observed in the recent decades. So, what we need to do? We have to burn less, especially the fossil fuels. We have to promote the plant life, especially the trees. So, here, you students, you have watched all the steps of the carbon cycle, in which some steps are revealing that how the carbon of the atmosphere is fixed into the form of the biological molecules, and in some steps you're watching that how the carbon dioxide is returned to the atmosphere. So this is all about the carbon cycle. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.